Superman's suit has always been a beacon of hope, but after the devastating events of our worlds at war, even the Man of Steel embraced a darker tone. This figure captures his post-war transformation, complete with a deeper blue and a striking black emblem, all inspired by the bold, dynamic art style of Ed McGuinness. Let's see if it lives up to the legend. This Superman figure is part of the McFarlane Toys digital line under the DC Direct label, rather than DC Multiverse. This line changes the packaging colors to more blues and teals rather than the usual black. Blue and white of DC Multiverse. What makes it different is that along with the typical items you'd get in a DC Multiverse package, such as accessories and a display stand, is that you also get a code card to unlock a digital image of the figure. While the figure is labeled as Our Worlds at War, it's really based on Superman's appearance in the aftermath of that war. During that time in the comics, Superman changed the colors of his suit, primarily swapping to black in the S emblem instead of yellow, along with also making the S on the back of his cape black as well. These changes were Superman's way of honoring those who died in the war itself. The art on the back of the box is from The Adventures of Superman number 596, but the figure design comes more from the cover art of Superman 178. Thus, why the trunks are painted with so much black. Heavy shadows like that were a common trope for Ed McGuinness art. With Superman off the spinner now, let's take a closer look at all the details, beginning with some nice, slow shots up and down both the front and back of the impressive figure. Just in case you're unaware, this detailed figure does primarily reuse the captivating body buck that began with the acclaimed Dark Knight Returns line, expertly based on the artwork of none other than the legendary Frank Miller. However, in my entirely personal opinion, it not only works exceptionally well, but it also enhances the overall aesthetic appeal of Ed McGuinness' distinctive art style, making it even more cohesive and polished than ever before. Both Frank Miller and Ed McGuinness were widely recognized for their tendency to exaggerate their characters' physical appearance in an overly muscular and precisely well-defined manner. This distinctive style is certainly not the more graceful and streamlined look that can be attributed to John Byrne's artwork and subsequent appearances in their works. The components that truly make this figure stand out amongst its peers are undoubtedly the exceptional head sculpt and the meticulous sculpt for the S emblem on Superman's chest. The head does a fantastic job capturing the precise likeness that Ed McGuinness consistently drew upon in his artwork. And the S emblem incorporates a slightly more classic and timeless design than the previous figures featuring this particular body buck. The only other thing that really stands out about this figure is that the S emblem has indeed been stamped in black on the backside of the cape. Unfortunately, though, since it's just a flat stamp on the sculpted surface of the cape, it doesn't really look right against the folds and wrinkles in the cape's design. Still, it's better than not having it at all. Now, let's move on to the accessories. Of course, there's the display stand, along with an extra set of hands. But the standout piece to me is the eagle figure. It doesn't have any articulation points, but it looks really good with some nice sculpt and paint details. There's no way to actually stand it on Superman's shoulders like the comic book image portrayed, but the feet can hook around Superman's forearm quite snugly. Up close, it's pretty obvious that this is not how it should work, but at a distance and on a display shelf, it should look fine. Moving on, we have the digital code card, which is accompanied by the traditional trading card featuring the same art on the back of the box. The digital code card gives you all the necessary instructions required to sign up, create an account, and redeem the code for the digital version of the figure. Essentially, what this card does is provide you with an NFT non-fungible token representation of the figure. While I am not particularly interested in owning NFTs on my own, I do understand and acknowledge their existence as an option for collectors who prefer the physical form of objects versus digital counterparts. Therefore, I am not opposed to these being included as an additional option when purchasing a physical figure to place on my shelf. Since we've seen this body buck on Superman multiple times now, I do not intend to do an articulation segment. Just FYI. On the left, I have the Dark Knight Returns version of Superman, and on the right, I have the Return of Superman Collector's Edition figure. While I was toying around with some poses on a flight stand, my cat, Emby, wanted to get a closer look for herself. Since I've been back regularly doing videos, she's always found a way to sneak herself in. With all that said, though, what do I really think about this McFarlane Toys digital collection, Our Worlds at War Superman? Let's find out by going through my guidelines for a complete and fair review. If this is your first time visiting my channel, welcome to Civilian Collectibles. My name is Seville, and I am thrilled to share with you my passion for action figures, as well as other collectibles, primarily inspired by my favorite movies, TV shows, and video games. You will find that my ever-expanding collection features iconic superheroes, legendary science fiction characters, and skilled wrestlers, spanning a wide range of genres and franchises. However, I do occasionally incorporate characters from my all-time favorite DC comic stories. If you find this video entertaining, or you have found some helpful insights, please don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update from me. Seriously, I really do appreciate all of the support so far. Now, back to my guidelines. While the sculpt is not new here, it is highly detailed and incredibly accurate to this interpretation of the character. The proportions work for the overall design. The figure is difficult to balance outside of any standard posing. It's also a bit lacking in the articulation department since it does not have double jointed elbows. Back on the plus side though, it does come with plenty of accessories. Mine did not have any quality control problems. The price was fair, and I was able to find it in my local GameStop store. Therefore, my final score is a 7 out of 10, meaning it is still pretty amazing and worth owning for all fans of this interpretation of the character. So if you're a fan of Superman, especially from the early 2000s era of comics, then I highly recommend adding this McFarlane Toys Digital Our Worlds at War Superman action figure to your collection. Disclaimer: I utilize an AI voice clone to significantly enhance and deliver a consistent and clear experience, despite the occasional challenges I might face while speaking. I absolutely enjoy sharing my enthusiasm for collectibles with you all, but it's essential to recognize that there can be some slight speech difficulties, particularly after an exhausting day at work as a sales professional. These difficulties can sometimes hinder my ability to maintain the required energy and focus while creating new videos, which is why I rely on my AI voice clone to assist me in carrying out this responsibility. By doing so, I can ensure that I continue to provide you, my valued viewers, the steady supply of engaging content to enjoy. So, after considering all of that, I'm going to wrap it up by giving a quick shout out to the awesome people who helped make this channel possible. Be sure to check out their socials and hit up the description for more ways to keep up with me on all my different platforms. Alright, catch you guys on the next video.